Hey, what's up, guys? I'm going to tell you 3 land investing secrets that the pros do not tell beginners right now. It's going to be a very simple video. I'm going to go straight to the point. Most beginners think that land investing is about finding cheap land, but the real pros know it's about choosing the right markets, number 1, making the right offers, number 2, and selling it the right way to the right buyers. So most beginners fail at land investing because they're taught the wrong things. They're told to go after cheap land, send a bunch of offers, and hope someone says yes. But the pros play a different game. And in this video, I'm going to show you how these 3 land investing secrets and why, or maybe if it's a conspiracy, I don't know, why the pros usually don't tell beginners this stuff, okay? So the good news is this business is simple when you actually understand the right frameworks, okay? So you ready for the secrets? Let's get into this. Number 1, the money is made before you ever even talk to a seller. Most beginners think, oh, I just need to find motivated sellers. But the pros know I need to pick a market where the land is already selling. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now in this video. So before you ever send mail, make calls, make offers, you need to know the following, right? What properties are actually selling here in this area? Is this a good market? How many have sold in the last 3 to 6 months? Not a year ago, not 2 years ago. What acreage sizes are moving? What zip codes are hot? What price points are the buyers paying? And are the properties sitting forever or are they moving quickly? There's a thing called the sell-through rate, and I'm going to show that here in a minute. Now, bottom line, it's always easier to sell people what they want rather than what you have. So don't go out and chase cheap land. Chase land that buyers already want. You know, if you're in Montana, beautiful state, right? But are there a lot of buyers buying land in Montana right now? No. So I want you to chase the land where the demand already is. This is like pretend you're on a fishing boat, and I don't like to fish, but you got the depth finder on there and you can see down below where all the fish are biting. And we're talking here about, well, what kind of fish are they? What kind of bait are they liking? What are the best fishing strategies? Things like that. Okay, now, how do you find these right markets? You're wondering, how do you find out what the buyers are actually buying? I'm going to show you one of my favorite tools right now, the Land Portal. And if you go to getlandportal.com, check this out. This is amazing. I'm going to pause my video and open it up here. Hold on. Well, before I even show you the Land Portal, because this is amazing, I'm going to show you something I usually like to do first. If you go to LandWatch.com, let me make my thingy a little smaller here. I'm just going to click this big orange button, search, and I'm looking at the entire United States. The LandWatch.com is part of the family of websites owned by the Land.com, where they are going to show you where this is the most popular website on the internet for buying and selling land. And so this is really just me looking for where are the most popular states and where are the most popular counties in selling right now. And I like cheap land, so I'm just going to look for anything under, let's just say 200 grand. There's no real science to this, just under 200 grand. And then I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to say available under contract and sold. All right. And then I'm going to scroll down some more and go to the very bottom and I'm going to say date listed past 60 days. So what this is doing is it's showing us in the last couple months the most popular states where a lot of investors are right now flipping land. A lot of successful investors are flipping land, I should say. And if you look at these big sponsored listings right here, some of these investors like Nikki Johnson, Tucker Land Company, Nikki Johnson again, John Burnett, I don't know who these guys are, but they're spending $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month right now to have these sponsored listings. Do you think they would be spending that if they didn't know what they were doing? So look at the most popular states here on the left: Texas, Florida, California, North Carolina, Georgia, Michigan, Arkansas, Arizona. All good states. This is where you should be starting. If you click see more, it was sorted by highest to lowest. Now it's sorted by alphabetically. But Colorado's a great state. Is Connecticut? No. Delaware? I don't know. No. District of, no. Like Georgia? Yeah. Hawaii? No. Idaho? No. Illinois? No. There's too much agricultural land there. Iowa? Probably not. But if you are going to do land in Iowa, well, where would you do land in Iowa? Because people go hunting and camping in Iowa, right? Where you're going to target the most popular counties there. This is where people might be hunting, camping, the path of growth, maybe where they're building new homes and stuff like that. But what I want to show you here is let's pick a state where there's already a lot of activity. Let's not go and try to find a secret market that nobody knows about. We want to go into areas where there's already a lot of activity. And Florida is a great state. California is a great state. Let's just look at California, for example. And you can scroll down, you can see Los Angeles County is a good area, Kern County, da 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 da. And as you drill down into these, if we go to Kern County, for example, you can see the cities. And this is the mailing city. So any vacant lot that has the California city, for example, there's a lot of activity going on here. You see what I'm doing? All right, so that's kind of where you can start doing some simple, basic research. If I remove California, so you could pick any one of these states. These are all going to be great states, right? Okay, enough about that. I want to show you, though, in the Land Portal. This is amazing. Go to getlandportal.com. This saves so many hours of research. You're going to go right here to market research on the left, and you're going to go right here to drill deep. All right, I'll pause this for 1 second because I want to clear any filters I have here. Okay, now I'm going to do time 6 months. I want to know where is all the activity happening in the last 6 months. Now this might be really small, but you just need to make the screen big. And I'm going to sort all of these states. This is land in the last 6 months by count, and you have to click this twice. And this tells me the most popular states where most of the land is being bought and sold. Let me clear these filters here. So I was looking at South Carolina before. Florida, great market. Texas, North Carolina, California, Arizona, Georgia, Tennessee, Arkansas, Michigan. These are all pretty much the same states that we saw here in LandWatch. So let's say you're interested in Florida. Let's just look at Florida. Now when you open it up here, and this is all sorted by count, right? But you can see here some things like, I'm going to walk through these columns. This is really important to understand. This is the number of transactions that have sold, the vacant land deals that have sold in the last 6 months. You see DOM, that's days on market. STR is sell-through rates. That's the division of solds divided by active listings. So the higher the number, the better. Don't worry about AR. I think that's just the opposite. Absorption rate. That's the opposite of those two, of the sell-through rates. Months of supply, right? Obviously, the higher the month of supply, there's more inventory. So Charlotte and Lee County have huge high months of inventory. Population density, population growth, and the median price. So, I don't know how many counties there are in Florida. In fact, let me check real quick. Hold on. All right, just Googled 67 counties in Florida. But I want to just look at the best counties. I want to filter down to the counties and then the zip codes where the demand is that has low days on market, high sell-through rate, low months of supply, maybe low population density and positive growth. So there's no negative growth. So, and median price. I don't want to be in areas where there's cheap land. So kind of going from left to right here. Let's just say I want only counties that have, I'm going to go to filters, the count minimum 200, let's say. So now I have all the counties that have at least 200 or more transactions in the last 6 months. And days on market. Let's say I want an average, I'm just looking at all the numbers here. I want less than 90 days. Max 90 days on market. Boom. And sell-through rates, the higher the number, the better. So what if we did sell-through rate greater than 50%? Sell-through rate greater than 50%. Boom. Months of supply, the lower the better. What if we said less than 10 months of supply? Maximum 10. Now again, I don't know if this is any good or not, but you just play with it. Population density, like Orange County, we want to be in areas where they're not like super really big. So let's do maybe population density max 1,000. I like cheap land. I don't like being in areas that are really highly populated density. Now all of these are positive growth. That's Florida, but let's just say we want 0 minimum population growth. So these are all areas that are growing. Okay, cool. Now, we've got a lot of deals here. I mean, a lot of counties. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. From 60, what did we say? 67 counties down to 7. Now, if your restrictions are too tight, you can always go in here and change it. Maybe days on market, let's do maximum 100. Maybe months of supply, let's do maximum 11. Count, minimum 150. Sell-through rate, let's keep that. All right, so now we've got more counties to play with here, okay? This is where I want to look at median price. Like I don't want really cheap properties and I don't want really expensive ones either. Like 750 grand Palm Beach. Nah, I'm not interested in that, right? So what if we did a minimum of, how about go here to filters, minimum medium price. Where is it? I just saw it. Here it is. Okay. Minimum 30 grand. Okay. Maximum 250 grand. I don't know. Oh, look what we have here now. Okay. Walton, Lake, Bay, Flagler, Okeechobee, Escambia, whatever, St. John's, and Indian River. Those are all good counties. They have high counts of actives or solds, relatively lower days on market, good sell-through rates compared to the rest of the state. And these, again, are formulas that don't work for every state. You just kind of have to look at it because Florida is a great market, but we don't want to go into maybe necessarily the most important markets, all right? Good price ranges, good population growth, lower density, lower months of supply. Do you see what I'm doing here? All right, now, Walton County. Well, we could go look at Walton County. I know where it is right now, but what kind of properties are selling there? Well, if you click the 526 right here, you're going to see, look at this. The median acreage size is 0.37 acres. So are we going to go there and target 5-acre lots? No, we're going to target in the median price range, probably a 1/4 acre to 3 acres, maybe 5 acres. And look at the median price that these properties are selling for in the last 6 months, $145 grand. So we know, all right, we're going to target properties, a 1/4 acre, under 1/4 acre to 1 acre, and we're going to be selling them for about $145 grand. Days on market is 96. Cool. You could do the same here with Lake County. The median acreage size is 0.55 acres. Okay. Now, what about zip codes? We're going from the country to the states to the counties to the zip codes. This is why I love this here. If I go into Walton County and I scroll down, now I can see all the zip codes. 32459. Now, this is why this is so important. I don't want to do spray and pray marketing. I want to do laser focused marketing where the demand already is. And this zip code is a good zip code. Now, the median price might be too high. Look how low this median price is. Maybe this is too low. But am I going to target these zip codes down here? Nope, right? I'm going to be targeting these zip codes up here. Santa Rosa Beach, this thing, So now I have 5-6 really good zip codes where a lot of people are buying land. Now, maybe this area, Inlet Beach, is way too expensive. So like median price is 135. So you could do the same filters here for the zip codes. You could say, all right, median price greater than 30 grand and less than 250 grand by the zip codes. That removes some of those real expensive ones. You could do population growth greater than 0 because this zip code has negative population growth for whatever reason. So just looking at this looks like a good zip code right here. A lot of activity in the last 6 months. Good sell-through rates, strong sell-through rates, low months of supply. This might be a good market to target. And so this is a topic for another video, but you could go in and just say, give me all of the properties in this zip code right here where I could start marketing to sellers. In fact, why don't I just show you right now? Let's click on that link. This is just one zip code in one county in one state. All right. So if I look in just that one zip code, in that one county, in that one state, vacant land, and I click apply here, there are a lot of vacant lots here. Let me show you this. There are 1,371 vacant lots, but what if there was a way? We know in that area what the median price is, the median range rather. Look, it's 1.39 acres, okay? So in here we could say, all right, just give me the, 0.5 to 5 acres. I want to exclude active listings. I want to exclude sold listings from the last 5 years. I only want out-of-county owners. I want the sale date to be before 5 years ago. And buildability total for like slope. I'm not too worried about the slope filters, but you could say I only want properties that are less than a certain slope. But landlocked? No, I don't want any landlocked properties. And I want 0 wetlands, 0 floodplains, which is more important in Florida, right? And you could say corporate owned, no. So you can now go down from a list of 1,371 vacant landowners in one zip code to down. Let's see if this works. I don't know yet. I didn't try this in advance, but this is one zip code, 1/2 acre to 5 acres, excluding active listings, excluded sold listings in the last 5 years. The owner lives outside of the county. They've owned it for at least 5 years. It's not landlocked, and there's no floodplains and wetlands. Let's see what we've got here. Hold on. Boom, just like that, we have 70 properties now where we can target where these owners have really good vacant land with road access. They're not in the floodplains or wetlands, and they've owned them for over 5 years. So now we can be laser targeted with our marketing in hot zip codes where there is a lot of activity, where properties are selling fast. You see how we're doing not spray and pray marketing? We're being hyper focused. This is something that the pros do not want you to know about, okay? So second secret here, pros don't guess offers, they use a formula. Most beginners are terrified of making offers because they don't know what to offer. They think, man, what if I offer too low? What if I offend the seller and make the seller mad? What if they say yes and I actually offered too much and I make a mistake? So the secret is this. You don't need to guess. You just need to use a simple formula. It's very simple. I make 2 offers. The cash offer is usually just 40 to 50% of whatever I can sell it for. If I think I can sell this deal for $25,000, I'm going to offer half of that. I'm going to offer maybe about $12,000 or $13,000. Okay. Now, when I do owner financing, I usually offer 70 to 75% of real market value. If the seller wants more, I can offer them more on better terms maybe, but I'm always thinking price or terms. Now, I'm going to show you a little bit here, a calculator that helps make this a little easier for you. And it's pretty cool, but like what I'm talking about here is you don't want to complicate this, and I'm a little hesitant to show you the owner financing offer because it might complicate it a little bit too much. But I already told you I was going to show you, so I'm going to show you anyway. But like start with just cash offers, right? 40 to 50%. If you can sell it for 20, offer 10. If you want to sell it for 100 grand, offer 50. You might think I'm crazy, but never offer more than 50% on a property, on a vacant land deal, especially if it's under 100 grand. Market, sometimes I'll go to 60% maybe. But I also like to give the sellers options, right? If I average 1 out of every 30 offer rate, by giving the sellers now 2 options, I can give them a lower price and a higher price if they would accept owner financing. Okay, so price or terms. Price is not the only thing that you can negotiate. Terms sometimes matter more than price. You can negotiate any of the following, right? You can negotiate the price, the down payment, the interest rate, the terms of the loan, the monthly payments, when the payments actually start. And then when you buy it with owner financing, guess what? You can sell it on owner financing at a higher price, higher interest, and better terms. And you can actually make more money when you do it this way. So I'm going to show you a little calculator that I built. It is not ready yet. This is called the Dirt Flippers Deal Analyzer. But I'm going to show you how you can get it on my next 5-day challenge. If you go to flipdirtchallenge.com, you can join it. It's free. And just flipdirtchallenge.com. Now, I'm going to show you how to get this in just a minute. Hold on. Let me open up the calculator here. Okay, so this is a lot that we were just looking at a minute ago in the land portal. And I want to send this seller an offer. It's 0.64 acres. And I found this property on Zillow. It's right there. I found it in the center of my map. And I want to look at, okay, what are similar properties selling for right now and what have they sold for recently? So I have the property in the center of Zillow. I'm looking at solds. I'm looking at land only. And I'm looking at 1/4 acre to 2 acres solds in the last 12 months. And I'm going to start zooming out. I'm starting to get comps. I have 1 comp so far. Let me zoom out again. Still 1 comp again, 1 comp again, 5 comps again. 83 comps, great. Okay, now I'm going to sort this right here from low to high. All right, I'm going to scroll down, load them all up, and I have this little scraper that, again, you can get for free at my flipdirtchallenge.com. It's a little scraper I have that will scrape all of those properties. I'm just clicking right here, boom, and then I'm going to go to page 2. I'm going to scroll down, load these all up, scrape them again. So now it's scraped 82 listings. That's good enough, okay? And then I'm going to look at actives. Active for sale. These are all the properties that are currently selling. There's 62 of them right now. I'm going to update a few things. We're doing backups and pendings. And I'm going to do days on Zillow any. All right, 78 results. If that's too many, you can zoom in. If it's not enough, you zoom out. But I'm sorting this low to high. I'm going to scroll down, load these all up. Going to scrape them. And I'm going to go to page 2. When I say scrape, all it's doing is it's getting all these numbers and it's scraping them, and it's giving me all of these properties in this pop-up here. So I have the address, the acreage, the price, and the price per acres. You understand this? And now it puts in these blue things here. You can see these properties are selling for, this one's selling for $114,000 an acre. This one's $122,000 an acre. And so now you have this here. Cool, right? All of this data here. Now, there's a couple things you can do here. You can say, all right, just show me the lowest 50% price per acres. And you can see the average and the median of the active and some pendings. Scroll down again and you can see the average and the medians of the solds. Now what I like to do is I'm going to click right here. We're going to go to show all, and I'm going to export all of those results into a spreadsheet. And I have this land deal evaluator. I'm just going to upload that spreadsheet of all of those solds, if I can get to it here, into this calculator that I built. Now this property is 0.64 acres. I discount the actives. Now I'm going to go through this really, really fast. So do not worry about thinking about this or remembering it. But I'm going through this really fast. And I explain this in more detail in the Flip Dirt Challenge. So I have the active price per acres, and then I discount the active listings by 15%. And I have the sold price per acres. Now you can choose to use either one of these. Which one do you think I'm going to use? I'm going to use the sold. This is what properties are actually selling for. Okay. So based on that, well, I could probably sell this property for, I'm going to sell it for $29,750, right at $30,000. This is what I'm going to sell it for. Now, when I make my cash offer, I'll do 50% of that. So I've got maybe, and I have two different methods, the percent of land value and what's called the back solve for minimum profit. I'll explain that in a minute. So my method one, if I'm making a cash offer at 50%, let me zoom in a little bit more here. My cash offer, if I'm going to sell this deal for $29,750, my cash offer is going to be $14,875. But then the second method is subtracting your profits. So if I subtract $2,500 closing costs, $500 for photos, $1,000 for miscellaneous unknown, I'm going to pay a realtor 10%, and I want to make at least $10,000 in profit, maybe $7,500 in profit. Now I have a $15,000. So now I have two cash offers. I could do $15,000 or $14,000. Or you can just override it and say, I'm going to offer 15 grand. So my cash offer is going to be $15,000. All right, I'm going to sell this deal for about $30,000. I'm going to offer $15,000 cash. And now I'm going to create a seller financing offer. And the way I like to do this is going to be 75%. If my cash offer is 50%, my owner financing offer might be like $22,000. And you can edit this. So I'm just going to say 22 grand. I'm going to offer the seller maybe 10% down. Oh, let's offer the seller, I'm going to get a little technical in advance here, but let's offer the seller 25% down. What? Where's that money going to come from? I'll show you in just a minute. Wait, just hold on here. And I'm going to offer the seller 5% interest on 10 years. Now, you could do 0 and 8% interest over 10 years. So this is all negotiable. You can negotiate any of this. But let's say the seller wants a down payment. I'm talking to them. But so then I'll give them a down payment, but then the interest rate's going to go down. And maybe I do a longer term. So that's all negotiable. Let's just keep it simple. I'm going to do 25% down. But Joe, where's that money going to come from? I'll walk you through that in a second. But I'm going to do 3% interest 10 years. Now this allows you then to figure, well, what if I borrowed the money for the down payment plus the closing costs from a private investor? And I paid that private investor, oh my gosh, 15% for 5 years? Let's play with me. Look at the number. You could also switch it to no investor here if you want, but I'm going to keep it, which is the seller's down payment of $5,500 plus about $2,500 for closing costs. But I'm going to pay a private investor 15%. Now, inside the Dirt Flippers community, you can find this money all day long. This is easy, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, 5 years. But when I sell the deal, I'm going to sell it at a premium. So I'm going to mark up the property 25%. I'm going to collect 3% down payment. I'm going to sell it at 9.9% interest over 10 years. So I'm buying it over 10 years with owner financing, and I'm selling it over 10 years with owner financing, and I'm using private money for 5 years. Do you understand what I'm doing here? Oh, check out these numbers. This is amazing. Without using, here I am. I'm offering the seller, the property's worth 30 grand. I'm going to sell it for 30 grand right here. I'm going to offer the seller $15,000 cash or $22,000 owner financing. Okay. So the current value is 29. I'm going to sell it for maybe $37,000 in owner financing. But check this out. So I'm going to be collecting from my buyer $475. I'm paying the seller $159. I'm paying the private investor $190 for just 5 years. So my initial net cash flow is $125. But look at this. If you break this down, my cash flow phase breakdown, my first 5 years, I'm making $125 cash flow. The next 5 years, I'm making $315 in cash flow. And you can play with all these numbers. You can choose no investor, you can do no down payment, a higher interest rate or whatever. Let's just look at if we did no interest rate, no down payment, and we paid the seller 8% interest over 10 years, and we did not use an investor. We marked the property up 25%. get 3%, 9.9, 10 years, etc. Now we're getting cash flow every month of $207. Now you can see make $7,800, but if you buy it and sell it with owner financing, you're going to make $19,000, $200 a month in cash flow. And this breaks down the cash flow by year, depending on what you're structuring it there. And so you can save these comparables. But here's the cool thing. You can create now a PDF or a letter of intent to send to the seller. And so we're just going to be creating a reference here. Let me fill out these fields. I'll be right back. Hold on. All right. So this is the seller's name, the seller's address, property address. Okay. And I can generate cash offer right here, a cash offer letter. I'm going to download that. And I can generate a 2-option letter of intent just like that. So I'm going to open these up. Here's a cash letter that you can send to the seller, to Jimmy Bob. Hey, Jimmy Bob, I'm reaching out because I'm interested in buying your 0.64 acre lot. We can help you. We can pay you cash, 15 grand. I pay all the closing costs. This is how it works. And then you print this and you sign it and you send it in the mail. The other offer that I like to send is the 2-option letter of intent. This is where I'm giving the sellers options. Okay, I can pay you cash, 15 grand. I pay all the closing costs, no fake offers. This is the simplest and fastest option if you're looking to sell quickly and walk away with cash in hand. Or I could do seller financing. Now, if you notice here, I'm not putting in the terms. I'm not telling them how much down payment, interest rate, the term, and any of that. I'm just showing them I can pay you cash 15 grand or I can pay you more for 22 grand. This option gives you a higher price and steady monthly income over the next 10 years if you're interested. And this is a letter then that you can print and send to the seller. Now, when you get them on the phone, you can negotiate. If they want a down payment, you can say, well, maybe I can get you a down payment, but I can't do 22 grand. How much down payment do you want? And then you go through this and they want 10% down. So you could do 10% down, but maybe change it to 5% interest. Maybe not 22 grand, but 20 grand. Okay. And you look at the numbers here, your cash flow actually goes up by giving them a down payment. The price goes down a little bit. Maybe they want an interest rate. They want 8% interest. Well, then maybe I can do that, but over 15 years. Okay. So I'm going to sell it now over 15 years. My cash flow is about the same. So it doesn't matter to me. My profit, look at this, is a lot better the longer it goes out. It's 30,000 instead of 20,000 like it was before. So you can negotiate all these different things with the seller. The price, the down payment, the interest rate, the seller terms, and stuff like that. You understand what I'm saying? So my point is this. Again, if you want this software I'm showing you and that Chrome extension that scrapes all these properties, just do it. Just join my free 5-day Flip Dirt challenge and I'll walk you through how to do that. But the point of this all is pros don't guess at offers. They use simple formulas, okay? And I might have confused you by talking about cash offer and owner financing offers. So if so, I'm apologizing. But just until you do a few deals, just make cash offers. Keep it simple. All right, secret number 3. The exit strategy matters more than the deal. Most beginners ask, hey, can I buy this cheap? But the pros ask, how am I going to sell this before I even buy it? The pros ask, how am I going to sell this before I even buy it? So the property is not a good deal because it's cheap. Just because it's cheap, it's a good deal if you know who the buyer is. What do they want? What can they afford? Where do they go to find and search for properties? How are you going to market the property? Should you sell the deal with cash or with owner financing? Okay, so bottom line, buy land. Don't buy land just because it's cheap. Buy land because you already know how you're going to sell it and to whom. Oh, that is so important. I'm going to try to make it bold right there, okay? You got to know who your buyers are. Now, I'm not saying you need to go and talk to the buyers first, but you need to know who they are. So who are these cash buyers? My favorite tool is InvestorBase. If you go to getinvestorbase.com, yes, I get a commission, but I use this every day. Let me show you this deal we're looking at right here. I'm going to show you how do I know who are the cash buyers buying land there around this area right now. And I'm going to show you who are the owner financing, who's doing owner financing in this area right now as well. So let me walk that. I'm going to open it up here and just get it set up for you. Okay, so inside of InvestorBase, I can put my address. Now, this case, this vacant lot doesn't have an address because there's no house on it yet, right? But the neighbor's lot has a house that has an address. I put that address right here, and I'm looking in a 5-mile radius in the last year of land buyers, and I'm going to skip trace these buyers. Well, you know what? I can't do that because YouTube will not let me show the videos. They'll take the video down if it shows information. Click search, and I'll show you what happens. Check this out. All right, just like that, we have 18 different buyers who have bought land in the last year. Now, I want to go out a little bit further. This is an area where there's not a whole lot of activity. For Florida, this is maybe a little smaller, but that's okay. But let's go out 10 miles, and I'll show you what we have now instead. All right, boom, look at this. We've got 50 different buyers who are buying land. Now, some of these are home builders. Look at this. Lennar Homes, you heard of them? They're linked to 24,000 different properties. This is a property here they bought nearby. Well, that must be they bought the land and sold a house on it for $246,000. All right, same with this. Well, so this church bought 40 acres. 40 acres here. Okay, so here's somebody that bought land for 140, built a house on it, sold it for 500. All right, here's somebody. This is a good example. CMH Homes, okay? They bought this lot nearby for 60 grand, built a house on it, sold it for 206 within 6 months, and they have 9,700 deals. They bought this lot here. This is a really good contact right here. For 21 grand, sold it for 243 grand after they built a house on it 6 months later. And you could click on this. Now, if I could show you, I could give you the phone numbers, the emails, and the mailing addresses of all of these flippers. Here's a buy and hold investor, okay? Now you can see the greens are buy and hold like landlords, and the blues are fix and flippers. You can see here, Huey Grant bought a property here for 20 grand nearby. And he owns 38 different vacant lots. Do you think he might be interested in looking for more land? This guy, Wells Meeker, he bought this lot for 25 grand, this one for 25 grand. So I have clients right now that getting deals under contract, I'm partnering with them. I just give them this list. And we just had a lady recently, I gave her about 45 different buyers. And the second one she called gave her a full price offer on her house, and she's making her vacant lot, and she's making about 7 grand on it. All right, so here's some buyers paying 26, another one 26, 46, 30 grand. Do you see what I'm showing you here? This is amazing information, isn't it? This is a Panhandle Affordable Homes. They bought this lot for 39 grand. They bought this lot for 39 grand, built a house on it, and sold it for 250 grand in 8 months. Panhandle Affordable Homes, LLC. So this is a great list. I love going to InvestorBase because you can say, just give me all the land buyers that have bought in a 5, 10, 1 mile radius in the last year. And if you click Skip Trace, it's included in your subscription. So check that out. It's a great tool and resource for finding buyers. And then you can also get buyers in FreedomSoft. Now, let me show you one more thing. We'll wrap this up. How do you find the good owner financing markets? How do you go into areas where you know where a lot of people are doing owner financing? Again, do not be afraid of competition. I look at competition as collaboration. So I like to go to land.com and look at owner financing. You can do the same on LandWatch, but let me just show you. Let's stay in LandWatch since we're already here. So I'm going to remove some filters here. Now we're looking at all the land in the United States that it's available, under contract, and sold. And I want cheap land. Let's look at anything under 200 grand. Okay. I'm going to scroll down all the way down here, and I'm just going to check off owner financing. We have 35,000 vacant land listings that have sold in the last 5, 10 years, I don't know, or are currently actively listed that are available with owner financing. What are the most popular states? Texas, Florida, Arizona, Colorado, California. Bam. You see what we're doing here? And if you wanted to, just to see the most recent, you could say date listed past 60 days. It's going to show you the most popular states. But I don't, for owner financing, I just like to look at all of them. And take a look at this. If we go into Arizona, what are the most popular counties for owner financing? Mojave County, Apache, Navajo, of course. There's not a lot of counties in Arizona. Let's look at another state. What about Colorado? Great market for owner financing. The most popular regions, here we go. Castilla County. Oh, let's look at Castilla County. What do we have here? These are investors that have done a lot of owner financing in these areas. Some of these are current active listings. Some of them are sold recently. But do you think because again, these guys, David Healy, Jeremy, Land Equity Group, these guys are paying thousands of dollars a month for these sponsored listings. Success leaves clues, I'm telling you. These are great markets to go into and do owner financing on. What if you went into some of these markets and made that 2 option letter of intent offers to the sellers? Give them cash and give them a higher owner financing price. Buy it on owner financing, sell it on owner financing. So these are some great ways to find the markets where there are people buying land right now. So I just wanted to share that with you. These owner finance are these secrets that the pros aren't telling you because there's some secret conspiracy. But number one, the money is made before you ever talk to a seller. Okay. The pros know that you need to pick a market where the land is selling right now. Okay. Second, pros don't guess offers. They use simple formulas, simple, predictable formulas to make their offers, and the exit strategy matters more than the deal. The pros ask, how am I going to sell this and to whom before I buy it? And you know what? They don't buy it until they know they can sell it and they already have another buyer. So I hope this video is helpful for you. Okay, if you want more information, if you want these tools that I'm giving you here, just go to my next free 5-day Flip Dirt Challenge at www.flipdirtchallenge.com, and I'll see you there. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you.